We don't want you to miss Disney Celebrates America, The Pursuit of Happiness, airing Monday, June 29th at 8 p.m. Eastern on ABC and streaming the next day on Disney Plus and Hulu. We want you all to have a wonderful day, a great weekend. Take a little time to enjoy
The View.
To just see and smell death for months, that's one of the hardest things.
It's 99% boredom and 1% sheer terror. Things happen at a time that is faster than you can ever expect.
So when people say it's fake or it's made up, I dare you to walk a mile in our shoes. Better yet, you don't have to walk a mile. Just take our Matterhorn boots and lace them up and see how heavy they are. They have our sweat, they have our tears, and they have our fears all locked up in a nice bow at the top.
A lot of people now, they see the political side, they see the ads, they see the smear campaigns. They didn't see him smiling on the oyster boat saying that, you know, the greatest thing that he figured out after getting out of the Marine Corps was that hard work in the place you love is the best thing you can do.
I'm Graham Plattner, and I approve this message.
You're watching ABC 7 Bangor.
This is ABC 7 News at Noon.
Crews fought a fire in downtown Ellsworth yesterday. Good afternoon, I'm Susan Farley. A suspect in a Bangor stabbing has been arrested in a stolen vehicle in another state. And the town of Lincoln will once again be without a town manager. Thank you for joining us. We'll have more on these and other stories coming up. First, let's check in with meteorologist Devin Biggs. Devin?
Hey Susan, happy Friday afternoon. We have some rain currently tracking in from the southwest and going toward the north and east as we have an area of low pressure currently tracking in. No lightning with this. We have the lightning tracker currently turned on, and so far no convection allowing some lightning to develop. There is a little bit across New York State, so there's been some thunderstorms with this, and we have a chance for showers and some thunderstorms again during the afternoon period. Futurecast currently showing that opportunity for showers and thunderstorms not only this afternoon, but into the early evening before that tapers off. We'll have some clouds and fog overnight and some more precipitation as we head towards the morning period for your Saturday. Now, there is a drought monitor. You can see we do have some areas pretty much in Bangor and to the east and to the west still in drought. So any kind of precipitation that we get will definitely be beneficial. So for today, scattered showers and thunderstorms, low 70s for the high, and that south wind at about 5 to 10 miles per hour. Overnight, mid 50s overnight with showers and storms early. Clouds and fog overnight too, with the wind overall looking nice and calm. Your hourly forecast for the rest of the afternoon period, showers and thunderstorms, temperatures in the 60s and 70s. Your full 5-day forecast is coming up. Susan?
Thank you, Devin. A City of Ellsworth spokesperson confirms a fire broke out at a commercial structure in downtown Ellsworth yesterday. It happened around 2 Thursday afternoon when a 911 call reported an outside fire involving hay bales quickly spreading to the back of 10 Franklin Street, an adjacent structure and surrounding trees. City officials say Ellsworth's fire department quickly responded, and within half an hour they were able to contain the fire, preventing it from spreading. No injuries were reported, and the cause of the fire is under investigation. The suspect in a Bangor stabbing has been arrested in a stolen vehicle in another state. Just before midnight on June 20th, police were called to a residence on Essex Street for an alleged assault involving a knife. Bangor Police Department spokesperson Katie England says when officers arrived, they found a victim with a critical stab wound. England says 37-year-old Abel Perez of Bangor was identified as a suspect, but he had left the scene. She says police learned that the victim's car was reported stolen by a neighbor while the victim was still in the hospital. Just before 9:30 a.m. on June 22nd, investigators in Bangor were contacted by the Guilderland, New York Police Department, which had stopped the stolen vehicle and took Perez into custody. He's being charged with attempted murder, elevated aggravated assault, domestic violence assault, and theft by unauthorized taking. The man initially arrested in connection with a shooting on a trail in Bangor has been arrested again. Officers responded to Talbot Trail on Stillwater Avenue on June 15th after getting a 911 call from a homeless man saying he had been shot several times during an unprovoked attack by an unknown man. 38-year-old Justin Grover of Bangor was arrested 2 days later and charged with possession of a firearm by a prohibited person. Then he was released on bail. Bangor Police Detective Lieutenant Brent Boyer says after an extensive investigation, Grover was arrested again yesterday. He's now being charged with elevated aggravated assault due to his alleged involvement in the shooting. Grover is being held on $100,000 bail. The Penobscot County Grand Jury has indicted a man who was allegedly involved in a stabbing in Bangor back in April. Bangor Police Department spokesperson Katie England says officers were called to Center Street on April 11th for a report of someone being attacked with a knife. She says officers learned a man had been stabbed in the arm and sustained minor injuries. According to England, the officers determined 20-year-old Hunter Targon was the alleged assailant, but he had fled on foot. He was arrested a few days later. The grand jury indicted Targon on several charges, including aggravated assault, threatening display of a weapon, and violation of conditions of release. A hearing was held in Kennebec County Superior Court Thursday in connection with the trial for an Oakland daycare owner accused of killing an infant. The state has filed a motion to disqualify defense attorney Bob Sandy. Attorney Sandy represents Lisa Barney, who was charged in 2024 with manslaughter in the death of a 4-month-old infant in the fall of 2023. The trial was set to begin at the end of May, but has been postponed. At a hearing in Augusta yesterday, Assistant Attorney General Jennifer Ackerman argued that there is a possible conflict with Sandy that could impact materials and witnesses used in the trial, and that he should be disqualified from the case.
My job as a prosecutor is not just to seek convictions and to get prison sentences and all of those things. It is to ensure that this process has integrity.
The important point for me is not who did it. The important point is who didn't do it, and that's Lisa Barney. That's the focus.
The state and defense declined to comment. The judge has taken the matter under advisement. A Washington County man who was charged in connection with the murder of a Perry woman was back in court yesterday on a probation violation. Donnell Dana, along with Kaylee Brackett, both of Perry, were charged and tried for murder, but a mistrial was declared after jurors deadlocked on the charge against Dana. Thursday, he appeared via Zoom for a court hearing related to an alleged probation violation. On April 9th of this year, the state filed a motion to revoke Donald Dana's probation. Dana waived his right to a formal hearing and admitted to the violations. The state recommended personal recognizance bail and participation in a program at a sober living facility. Donald Dana is due back in court on October 1st. A U.S. district judge yesterday ruled that the federal government cannot decide who can vote by mail. This comes on the heels of Wednesday's remarks by the Postmaster General that the U.S. Postal Service will decline to deliver mail-in ballots in states that refuse to provide voter data to the federal government. 30 states have declined to share state voter lists, including Maine. Secretary of State Shannon Bellows issued a statement following the court decision. She said, quote, "The idea that the U.S. Postal Service would refuse to deliver ballots in a state where we have properly refused the Trump administration's demands for voter data is an illegal and unconstitutional attempt to keep Americans from voting. We've won every court case on this issue, and we're not going to back down now in defending Maine's voting rights." The town of Lincoln will once again be without a town manager. Lincoln Communications Director Sean Rogers confirmed with us that interim town manager Schaefer has resigned less than 2 months after being hired. Schaefer's resignation immediately follows a contentious budget hearing on Monday in which the council approved significant reductions to public safety spending and other municipal departments. Schaefer was appointed by the town council in May. He was hired after former town manager Dennis Bullen was fired by the council. Bullen was fired less than 2 months into the role. He previously told us and that the council's decisions stem from disagreements over budget priorities. Schaefer's resignation now marks the 4th time in less than a year that Lincoln has lost a town manager. It's unclear when Schaefer's last day will be. A town employee confirmed that he was at the office yesterday, but he was not available for comment. Coming up on ABC 7 News at noon, with the ceasefire in Iran is being put to the test. We've got details when we return.
I got hurt by a big truck. Why did I call the twos? Because life-changing injuries deserve life-changing money, and I'll fight to get it for you. We got a client who broke multiple bones in a commercial vehicle accident, $700,000. Another client had a brain injury, and we got them $1.15 million. If you get hurt by a big truck, call the twos. We win for you.
Hurt by a big truck? Call the twos. We win for you.
As a doctor in rural Maine, we're already seeing the impact. Susan Collins voted to support Donald Trump on the largest Medicaid cut in history. Healthcare is getting even more expensive. People are losing coverage. Our hospitals are closing, and the worst is yet to come. But Susan Collins gave Trump a blank check for his war in Iran. Billions of dollars that we could use here in Maine. We need to tell Susan Collins to stop siding with Donald Trump. We can't afford it.
Webb's RV Center has a 4-acre lot with over 75 previously owned campers all on sale, plus another 4 acres of new RVs and motorhomes. Webb's RV will take anything in trade. You can buy a camper anywhere, but be sure to buy your next camper at your local neighbor. A website can't service your RV, but Webb's RV will. And they have the biggest service department in the state of Maine to help you enjoy your RV or motorhome.
So come on down, neighbor. The coffee pot's on and the pencil is sharp.
Kirk Fisher is a motorcycle attorney with first responder experience. He protects fellow riders and those in danger, fighting fires and fighting for your rights. Experienced, determined, and dedicated. Iron Horse Motorcycle Lawyers. Look for motorcycles, or Kirk Fisher will be looking for you.
For the first time ever on live television, the Stonington Lobster Boat Races are coming to ABC 7. Fast work boats, big horsepower, and Downey's pride on full display. Watch Maine's lobster fishermen put their boats to the task in one of the state's most exciting summer traditions. Don't miss the live debut of the Stonington Lobster Boat Races. Sunday, July 12th from 11:30 to 2. The Stonington Lobster Boat Races, live on ABC 7.
You're watching ABC 7 Bangor.
Iran is once again firing on tankers in the Strait of Hormuz, despite pledging to open it up as part of the recently signed Memorandum of Understanding with the U.S. Correspondent Rebecca Castor has more from Washington.
The ceasefire with Iran getting its first major stress test after Iranian forces hit a cargo ship in the Strait of Hormuz with a drone. The ship, which is Singapore flagged, was apparently using a navigation lane too close to U.S. forces, prompting the attack by Iran. Some experts say it's an indication the Iranians plan to extend their control over the strait.
Because it provides them deterrence, and we've seen the evidence of that deterrence here during the war. And it gives them leverage and control in the region.
And Tehran might also be stepping back from another provision of the ceasefire agreement, allowing the UN to inspect its nuclear facilities, with little progress reported so far by international monitors.
We have barely initiated conversations with Iran so as to determine what are the places to be visited, and so on.
Meanwhile, the Pentagon is working hard to sell Congress on an $88 billion supplemental funding request for the war, but many lawmakers remain skeptical, saying they haven't been given enough information.
It's just like the Iran deal. What is the final deal? I don't know.
Secretary Hegseth seems to think he can just keep pitching in numbers and we will just keep shoveling out money.
And the divide is predictably partisan. Most Republicans are supporting the request. Most Democrats say they'll vote against it. President Trump is also pushing arms manufacturers to help replenish America's ammo stockpiles, which have been depleted after 4 months of war. In Washington, Rebecca Castor, Fox News.
Former National Security Advisor John Bolton pleaded guilty today to mishandling classified information. It marks the first time the Department of Justice has successfully prosecuted a case against someone President Trump perceives to be a political adversary. ABC's Christiane Cordero has the details.
Today, one of President Trump's former national security advisors turned adversaries, John Bolton, walked into a Maryland courthouse and pleaded guilty.
The rules governing classified and national defense information apply equally to everyone, regardless of position.
Bolton's plea was for 1 count of illegal retention of sensitive documents. He's agreed to pay a fine of over $2.2 million. Sources add his guilty plea is tied to keeping classified national security information in diaries. He maintains he never took classified documents from government offices. Last summer, federal agents were seen raiding Bolton's suburban Maryland home. A grand jury indicted him 2 months later. The DOJ's investigation into Bolton goes back to Trump's first term, when Bolton left the White House and emerged as one of the president's most vocal critics. In his 2020 book, The Room Where It Happened, Bolton described Trump as unfit to be president. The book itself quickly became a centerpiece of the investigation.
Do you fear at all you could be prosecuted?
Look, under Donald Trump, no regular rules here apply. But I am confident that there's no national security information, no classified information in the book.
According to the plea agreement outlined in court today, prosecutors will not seek a prison sentence of more than 5 years. The judge will ultimately have final say on that. Bolton has also agreed to serve community service and will forfeit retirement pay tied to his time in federal service. Christiane Cordero, ABC News, Washington.
A website for reporting missing loved ones in Venezuela shows more than 25,000 people are unaccounted for. More than 500 people are confirmed dead, but experts warn the death toll could go much higher, and the quakes could end up being the most devastating in Venezuela's modern history. ABC's Victor Oquendo has the latest.
Inside the Global Empowerment Mission headquarters, this is a disaster relief organization. You can see the volunteers, they're wearing green, hard at work here, packing up the supplies and donations that have been pouring in ever since those 2 earthquakes hit. They need all the help they can get in Venezuela as the number of those dead, injured, and missing continues to climb. At last check, nearly 600 people killed, nearly 3,000 injured, with hundreds still believed to be trapped. Emergency crews digging through mountains of concrete and twisted metal. Heartbreaking scenes as family members call out for missing loved ones. As many as 25,000 still unaccounted for, as experts warn the death toll could ultimately top 10,000. The extent of the devastation vast. High-rises left leveled, blocks upon blocks reduced to debris. And we're getting new accounts of the initial moments of chaos when those 2 earthquakes hit within just 39 seconds of each other Wednesday evening. We heard from Americans describing the terror as everything around them started to shake. Now, an international aid effort is mobilizing. The U.S. military and State Department sending in support. Relief flights will begin arriving this weekend, but the airport in Caracas, the country's main airport, so badly damaged it is closed, and that is complicating relief efforts.
After the break, changes are coming to Bangor's Pride Festival. We'll be right back.
If you've been hurt, you deserve to be free from your car accident problems, free from the worry of medical costs, and free from your financial struggles. Call the twos right now. It's free. I'm your go-to guy.
To just see and smell death for months, that's one of the hardest things.
It's 99% boredom and 1% sheer terror. Things happen at a time that is faster than you can ever expect.
So when people say it's fake or it's made up, I dare you to walk a mile in our shoes. Better yet, you don't have to walk a mile. Just take our Matterhorn boots and lace them up and see how heavy they are. They have our sweat, they have our tears, and they have our fears all locked up in a nice bow at the top.
A lot of people now, they see the political side, they see the ads, they see the smear campaigns. They didn't see him smiling on the oyster boat saying that, you know, the greatest thing that he figured out after getting out of the Marine Corps was that hard work in the place you love is the best thing you can do.
I'm Graham Plattner, and I approve this message.
Show us one phone call from you to her. Do you think you have proof of that? Or you can just fess up and tell us I didn't call her.
Hot Bench.
Friday at 3 on ABC 7.
After this girlfriend got burned,
You gave him a lot of money.
Yes.
her ex gets grilled.
How much money did you take from Miss Jones?
None. Zero.
If she gives, you take. That's a give and a take. How much money do you send to your ex-wife for the support of your 3 children? Is not an answer. I know you're laughing. I'm laughing on the inside. I'm not allowed to laugh on the outside.
Judge Judy.
Friday at 5 on ABC 7.
Thousands of kids like Caroline receive life-changing care at Northern Light Eastern Maine Medical Center each year, the only full-service pediatric program north of Portland. You can help support them by joining the Summer Classic 4 Maine Kids Golf Tournament, happening July 31st at Bangor Municipal Golf Course. Benefiting the Children's Miracle Network at Eastern Maine Medical Center, every dollar raised supports pediatric care today, tomorrow, and for years to come. Ready to tee up for a great cause? Visit northernlight.org/4kids to learn more and register today.
I remember as a kid going to the butcher with my mom, and she'd ask for a London broil. Even though it really isn't a cut of meat, somehow the butcher always knew what she wanted. At home, she'd marinate it, and then onto the grill it would go. And while that was many years ago, London broil is still one of my favorites. So what do you say we check out an updated version? To begin with, we combine some balsamic vinegar, olive oil, spicy brown mustard, garlic, and a few seasonings. Once that's mixed, we put that in a 2 to 3 pound piece of top or bottom round, or even flank steak, into a plastic bag. We'll seal it, and into the fridge it goes. Just before dinner, we drain off the marinade and toss it onto a hot grill until it's medium rare or so. A cut like this can dry out if you overcook it. And if you're thinking, can I do this inside on a grill pan? Well, of course you can. You see, what makes this London broil is not what the cut of meat is, but how it's prepared. Now, you cut this across the grain into thin slices, and you'll have a meal that's fit for a king. We even have the recipe for caramelized onions to serve over it that will make it doubly delicious. I hope you'll go online and get a recipe for our grilled London broil so you can share some of my best childhood memories. I'm Howard from the Mr. Food Test Kitchen, where every day we're looking for an over-the-top way for you to say, ooh, it's so good.
One of Bangor's biggest celebrations of the year is happening tomorrow, but when Pride Fest returns this weekend, those attending may notice a few changes. Our Alex Schley has more on what you can expect.
For more than 3 decades, Bangor Pride has served as both a celebration and show of support for the LGBTQ+ community. This year, organizers say the festival has a new location.
So we have moved the Bangor Pride Festival to the waterfront to allow for a more cohesive space where we can actually spread out and have everything all together.
Bangor's first Pride event was held in 1992, 20 years before same-sex marriage became legal in Maine. Organizers say the event has grown significantly since then, while continuing to send the same message of inclusion and acceptance.
It's still very important to have Pride to show that Bangor is a safe city for LGBTQIA+ people.
In past years, the parade has wound its way through downtown Bangor, ending near the heart of the city's celebration. This year, organizers say they revised the route.
We are going through a little bit of downtown. We're going to turn on Water Street towards the parking garage and then turn on Broad Street up to the Sea Dog.
The parade will begin in downtown Bangor, but will spend less time navigating the city streets before heading towards the waterfront.
That way, people who have trailers can actually still easily be in it rather than navigate some of those really tight corners downtown. It's very accessible, the lengthwise, and the sidewalks and the waterfront are much flatter, nicer for people and with mobility needs.
Once the parade reaches the waterfront, attendees will find a full day of activities.
Around the waterfront, we're going to have almost 200 vendors and resources. The Northern Light mobile mammogram unit's going to be there. Maine Family Planning Health on Wheels unit's going to be there. Bangor Public Health is doing HIV and Hep C testing on site.
Organizers expect thousands will take part in this year's celebration. For more information on Bangor Pride events and a full schedule of activities, go to our website, foxbangor.com. In Bangor, Alex Schley for ABC7 and Fox 22 News.
When we return, Devin Biggs has your 5-day forecast.
Hi, I'm Tony with TC Hafford Basement Systems. All things basementy. Is your foundation shifting, settling, or cracking? Don't wait till it's too late. We offer the most reliable solutions to lift and stabilize your sinking foundation. With our advanced piering techniques, we'll ensure your home is back on solid ground. Call TC Hafford Basement Systems today for all things basementy.
I'm Jim with Lowry Law. One of our clients was a man whose family contacted me after he was badly injured in a hit and run. As a former prosecutor, I was able to work with the police and the DA's office to identify the driver and prove that he was drunk when the accident happened. It was that work that allowed us to get him a $500,000 settlement. If you've been hurt by a drunk driver, call me. I'm your go-to guy.
Hurt by a drunk driver? Call the twos.
As a doctor in rural Maine, we're already seeing the impact. Susan Collins voted to support Donald Trump on the largest Medicaid cut in history. Healthcare is getting even more expensive. People are losing coverage. Our hospitals are closing, and the worst is yet to come. But Susan Collins gave Trump a blank check for his war in Iran. Billions of dollars that we could use here in Maine. We need to tell Susan Collins to stop siding with Donald Trump. We can't afford it.
This spring, invest in your nest with the County Federal Credit Union. Your home has grown in value season after season. With the county's 10-10 Home Equity Line of Credit, you can borrow up to your credit limit over 10 years with interest-only payments over those 10 years. 10-10. And then you can stop and smell the roses, soak up the sun, and invest in your nest. The 10-10 Home Equity Line of Credit, the County Federal Credit Union, countyfcu.org.
People are making weekend plans. Let's check your full forecast with Devin Biggs. Devin?
Alrighty, Susan, thank you very much. Your full weather forecast brought to you by Old Town Redemption Center, now offering a 10% bonus on your returnables and a monthly $100 drawing. Alrighty, here we go. We have 2-foot wave heights being observed along the coast and pretty quiet further off towards the north and east. No advisories in effect along the coast or even inland either, so we're looking pretty good. Further out towards sea, 2 to 3 foot wave heights. So overall, the ocean presently behaving, and water temperatures not looking too bad either. In general, 50s and 60s currently being observed with all the buoys showing up on this map. But on land, we do have precipitation currently moving in with an area of low pressure tracking in from the southwest and going toward the north and east. So no thunderstorms, at least as of yet. The lightning tracker is on, but we are going to be watching for the potential for more convection moving in as we head towards the afternoon period. We have a little bit in New York State now, but that will be expanding in our direction as we head towards the afternoon period. Futurecast showing that potential during the afternoon and evening time frame for showers and thunderstorms. It tapers off overnight with clouds and fog. Now as we head towards your Saturday, you can see some more showers, few rumbles of thunder possible. Once we head towards Saturday night, that will be tapering off. And then once we head towards your Sunday, we're looking pretty nice. Not too bad as we start things off. As for the precipitation, I'm going to run this all the way through parts of Sunday morning. Beneficial rainfall further off towards the north, where at least a ½ inch, maybe an inch of rainfall possible before we're all finished up. Some other areas will see just a little bit less. And it will be a little bit humid as well in a few spots, where some areas will see roughly 60-degree dew points on average for at least the next several days. Scattered showers and thunderstorms today. Highs in the low 70s and that south wind at about 5 to 10 miles per hour. Overnight, we have mid-50s, showers and thunderstorms early, then clouds and fog overnight too, with the wind overall looking nice and calm. Tomorrow, upper 70s. We have partly cloudy skies expected, slight chance for a storm, and that north wind at around 5 miles per hour. Let's check out your extended forecast. Sunday, showers and thunderstorms with highs in the upper 70s. With Monday, another chance for showers and thunderstorms with highs in the mid-80s. And then Tuesday, another chance for showers and thunderstorms with highs in the low 80s.
Thank you, Devin. To say hundreds of people in Bangor enjoyed the sun yesterday would be an understatement. Community members, organizers, and those more gathered at Bangor's largest playground for the 15th annual Summer Block Party, hosted by Bangor Housing Authority and the Boys and Girls Club of Bangor. People could enjoy the splash pad, a trampoline park, and a rock climbing wall.
We did it originally over on the Down East School property, and then once we built the splash pad, we moved it here, and it really has grown in size over the years.
We all look forward to it. It's the heart of our work. It's coming together and really celebrating the relationships that are built here in this community.
Myatt says the annual get-together started 15 years ago as a way for the kids to enjoy the end of this school year. And firefighters from Rangeley had, well, an unusual rescue Thursday. They helped save a dog that had jumped from an apartment window onto the second floor. The firefighters used a ladder to reach the dog. They calmly guided it back through the window to its waiting owner. It's apparently not the first time the pooch managed to make it onto the roof. That's all for ABC 7 News at noon. Thanks for watching. I'm Susan Farley. We'll see you this evening on ABC 7 News at 6. Have a great weekend.
Winter is flu season, and not only that, but COVID is still with us, as is RSV. Remember, it takes your body about 2 weeks after you get any vaccination to ramp up those antibodies. Now is the time for you and your family to get vaccinated against the flu, COVID, and RSV. Updated vaccines are now available for flu and COVID-19, and depending on your age, active steps you can take to prevent RSV. Talk to your doctor or pharmacist. A message from the Maine CDC, this station, and the Maine Association of Broadcasters.
You're watching